something called the 5-star shout out. I'm gonna say this line. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You can't make a you know what I'm talking about.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the side, Jawn. I am your host, Sharon Mullen, the chocolate girl, chocolate writer, whatever you want to call me this morning, or you just call me Sharon. So welcome to the side, Jawn, on Saturday, my favorite day of the week. My co-host, Dennis, the Inner Thinker Podcast, Holmes is traveling. So safe travels, Dennis. But I am joined by my very special returning guest, the love doctor himself, Dr. Lynn Sturdivant. Welcome to the show. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Good morning. I am well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today. Thank you for asking. I'm glad to be here. Glad that you could come on. I looked it up. You were here this same weekend last year. It was May the 18th.
Wow.
Was the date of 24.
Just like that. Felt like yesterday.
Yeah. And when I discovered it, I said, let me see if he could come on this Saturday. That'd be perfect. That would be perfect timing. As you see my name, perfect timing. Was it perfect timing down there? Yeah. Perfect timing. So welcome to the show. We have a great show planned, but first we always start out asking how your week has been. So, how did your week go this week?
Not bad. Had a really good week. The side business. I'm trying to turn the side business into the main business, and the other one's kind of going down. The other one's going up. So that's progressing nicely.
Awesome.
I got in lots of exercise, walking around a little late that we have. Did some exercise, and so a little bit sore, but then I'm jump back out there today if it don't rain.
Well, it's the time of year. You come out of the doldrums of the winter season, and as soon as it starts to get warm, all of a sudden your body just kicks into revitalization mode. That's what happens to me. Yeah. So I'm automatically more active. Automatically want to do something. Oh, yeah. Automatically want to be outside, as they say. Be outside. Well, I'm outside.
Grew up with that. Get outside. Yes. You ain't got to tell me twice.
Mm-hmm. Don't come back up in here until after 7:00. Don't come back up in here. That type of thing. Why are you in here? Go back outside.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. But my week was a good week. I did some exciting things. I went to a couple of industry meetings. I'm in the insurance industry, so I went to a few industry meetings this week and learned some new things and learned some new information that was quite shocking about what some of these agents are out here doing that they should not be doing.
Oh,
getting the slap. They're getting the slap. And very interesting information. It just makes me want to remind you all and give you all this public service announcement. Every year, if you have an insurance agent, and I don't care what type of insurance, get with your insurance agent once a year and do a policy review. Make sure all your policies are straight. Make sure all your information on the policies are correct and accurate. See if they suggest that you make any changes, like making sure if in your home insurance, make sure you have enough coverage on your home. Same thing with your car. Make sure your deductible is where it should be and all the lines of coverage The tip I'm going to say about auto insurance, full coverage does not automatically mean everything is covered. Please understand that. And please ask your agent to explain that. I'm not going to go into detail here, but get with your agents. I'm telling you, because there are people out here saying, well, I got full coverage. Why won't you pay for my rental? It's not automatically included when you say full coverage, which is why as agents now, we're taught not to even use that term anymore because people were so misled by what that means. Go find out what it means. And if you've got a mortgage company on your home, if you got a mortgage on your home, make sure the mortgage company that you last knew was your mortgage company is still your mortgage company. They will sell it. You might not find out right away. And then when they don't notify the insurance company and they don't pay the bill, your policy could be canceled and you won't even know it. Check your policies at least once a year. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. So that was on my heart. That was for free. Y'all can send put money to my Cash App though if y'all want to. But anyway, let's get started with today's business. I have the Love Doctor in my presence. And whenever I have the Love Doctor here, I come up with some, pretty good things to talk about, things that I run across, especially on social media, because people are putting anything on social media now. It's just crazy.
That's how you
absolutely
get paid.
Crazy.
That's how you get paid. But the trend that I notice in social media is to keep you in a childlike state. If I keep
Explain
you there,
that. Explain that.
Well, to be in a childlike state is not to be an adult. So you look at the Housewives of Atlanta, the whole show is based on child energy. Adults don't function like that, but children do. So if I keep you in child energy, it kind of opens up your unconscious. So when you're laughing, whatever you're laughing at, you agree with. And as you laugh, it goes right through your conscious and it settles down in your unconscious. And if you do it enough times, the repetition, whatever you're laughing at becomes a part of how you function and how you move and how you see the world. Tricky. I just try to stick to stuff. I look at a little bit of news because I need to know what Trump gonna do about these student loans.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. So see, I read my articles. I don't listen because I don't want to hear his voice and I don't want to look at him. So I'll read the news, but I'm not watching it. I don't want to hear his voice. I don't want to look at his ugly face, his ugly mouth, his ugly hair. I just want to read about it so I have the information because knowledge is power. I truly believe in that.
Is.
And yeah. So anyhow.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the first thing that we're going to talk about. But before we talk about them, I have a few terms I would like for you to explain to our wonderful listeners out there. Shout out to Marcus Betts in the comments. Thank you for stopping by, Marcus. So let's start with these terms. Just in 3 sentences or less. 3 sentences or less. Explain what love bomb means.
To love bomb is to overwhelm you with all of your love languages. So if your love language is touch, I'm going to give you a lot of touch. If your love language is praise or words of affirmation, I'm going to give you lots of words of affirmation. So every time you see me, you'll associate me with a really good feeling. And it's almost dreamlike. It's almost too good to be true, but most people have that void in their life where they needed to hear all of those things as a child, and you didn't get a lot of it. So what the love bomb does is it explodes with all the deficits you didn't grow up with. And it feels good. It'll distract you.
It feels really good.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like you're like euphoria, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you're going to get euphoric, and you're going to get distracted.
That's the key. So to explain soul ties.
Well, usually when folks have sex, they have a little tie. You know, there's some of me and you, and some of you and me. So we kind of bound. That used to be reserved for marriage, that soul tie, but now those soul ties have turned into sexually transmitted demons. That's a whole nother episode. That's the new kind of STD.
I'm gonna write that one down. We're gonna have to have you back, and that's what we'll talk about next time.
That's
okay.
That's a tough. It's tough. It's a tough. Give you an example. So here's a client who he met this woman. He divorced, dated for a little while. Finally met this woman. He already had the house, the furnishings, all that. Met this woman, liked her, you know, and everything was going great. And they got married, and things turned just like that. And he's like, Lynn, I don't understand what I did. I did this right. He did everything right. And I asked him, I said, the mattress that you have sex on, did you swap it out? He just put his head down.
Oh my God. You talking about the mattress that he slept with previous women on? Oh my God. I never thought about that.
Most people don't. They don't think about it.
You just did this to my brain. Just
yeah. So here's his new bride on the on the second mattress, and all the stuff, you know, the dresses, the drawers, everything that was touched. See, if you're gonna do the marriage thing, the first bed you sleep in should be virgin.
Got it. That's a good thing to know. So if I get married to somebody, then we need to make sure we buy new furniture together. I'll just put it that way.
I'm just saying. I think
we need to buy a new bedroom set.
I mean, but that's some pretty scary stuff. And then when it clicked on him, in like he went out, the rooms to go, cleared, called the junk people, come get it, got everything out.
Did it change? Did it help him?
Oh, it definitely changed. Think about it. I mean, it's like sleeping on a bed of nails. If you change it, it probably feels good.
Oh yeah.
That part.
That I will not forget this one. Okay.
That's
soul ties.
Soul ties. They're the same.
Right. So how about the term codependency in terms of love relationships? Explain that.
Codependent, you mean more to me than I mean to myself. A codependent.
Wait a minute. Wait. Repeat that so they can hear it clearly.
You mean more to me than me. I don't know how to love myself, so I put everything into you, and I need you to, you know, validate me. I'm depending on you to help me out. So
the person who is codependent, they get with you and they give you a job.
Well, yeah, they give
you a job to do. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, but most codependents don't know how to love themselves.
Right.
If I don't know how to love me, I'll make you take care of me.
Right. That's the job I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Making you the caretaker because of their lack of love. They want you to fulfill that. That's a job for the other person. Well, that they didn't sign up for. I didn't sign up for that job. I just love you.
But it's like signing up to be a date down. See, when somebody dates down, they're usually asshole. Right? I mean, that's, you know, if I date up, I'm a saint. If I date down, I'm an asshole. But where you want to date is right in here. You don't want to see,
Right.
you get little varied swings in here, but when you come into a situation and you're here and the other person's here, yeah, this person's not going to be so friendly.
Wow.
This person, when you date down, you like the convenience of a relationship, but you don't want all the responsibilities.
Exactly.
That part.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that part indeed. So with that being said, we got some of those terms out of the way. Let's move on to our first video. I call this video delivery room dilemma. Okay. Delivery room dilemma. So let's take a look at this first one. All these steps after step after step. All right, let's go.
Got audio? Can't hear it.
Okay.
I didn't hear
So
it.
You didn't hear it at all?
I didn't hear it at all.
Okay, hold on. Because I had it marked to share the audio. It's supposed to share the audio. And you still didn't hear it? Okay. Let's try it again. Let me know in the comments if you couldn't hear it. Because let me see. It says share tab or screen. I don't think you see that one though. Okay, I'll make it work this way. Let me do it this way. Now you can see it, right?
I see it.
But only one of y'all
can you hear it?
Oh, so you gonna come?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna go.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's my first son.
This is my first grandson. You know I wanted my mama to come.
Your mama wasn't with you when. Wait, you can't be trying to take this away from me right now.
Ain't nobody taking nothing away from you, baby. She said what it was.
You literally watched the other kids come out of her like, this is my first son. I want to be there when he's born.
But she's been here for me for every child. If something happens, I want her to be there.
I've been with you every step of the way.
Okay, and you'll still be here after.
Baby, you don't know nothing about delivering no baby. Nothing like
And trust me, I'm going to figure it out because I'm a father. So I'm going with you, right?
No, you're gonna go in that waiting room, and I'm gonna let you know when the baby's in there.
So
I'm not in it. I told you I want my mama to come. I'm not in it.
Did you hear it that time?
I heard it.
Yeah, now I know what to do. Okay. So what do you think about that, Dr. Lynn? Because this is a dilemma. Approach this from the point of view as a relationship coach, like let's say they FaceTimed you from the room and asked you what should happen. And let's say you find it appropriate to give a quick answer. Usually you would say, I can't answer that, like right now. But what if they ask you to give them an answer? Which way would you go? Because the nurse is standing there waiting.
Gotcha. Are they married?
Well, that was my first question. She said child's father. So I don't know.
Because, okay, so there's two scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
If they're married, mom need to get the hell out.
Okay.
The marriage comes before the relatives. Marriage comes before the child. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if they're married, mom. Well, if he was campaigning to be there, and the mother was campaigning for him not to be there, why can't they both be there? So, but
only one. See, the part that didn't come up was only one could go with her. The nurse walks in and says, only one. I should have given that background.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So if that's the case, if they're married, then mom needs to leave. If they're not married, then it's probably up for debate. But
so let's say that they're not married. What suggestion would you give? Or would you just say, y'all just work it out amongst yourselves?
That's a tough call, because getting men involved in that part of the pregnancy and delivery, I think it strengthens the bond. So
right.
he needs to be there. But mom seems very controlling, and daughter seems in that codependent stage. Well, my mom's been here before, so that implies that she's had another child. So if this is a out of wedlock case, should he be in there? That's a tough call. If one could, I would still lean towards the father. I would lean towards the father, because that's a bond that you can't recover that. Once it's happened, you can't retrofit that.
Right.
He needs to hold that baby in his hands. He needs to see all the things, cutting cords, all that stuff. I think
this was my first reaction when I first saw it. I was a little uncomfortable. I was a little bothered by the mom and the daughter, quite frankly. Because I found it to be disrespectful to his feelings altogether.
Right.
First of all, it should have been discussed beforehand, so we can get that out of the way. It should have been discussed long before that moment who was going to be where. That's first. Second, she clearly said, they clearly brought out the fact that the mother had been there for all of her other deliveries. So she's done this before. It didn't matter the sex of the child. Didn't matter if the other children were all girls and this is her first grandson. Who cares? You've been there for four others. This is this man's first child ever of any sex. And it's a boy, and this is a man bringing another boy into this world. He deserves to be there. That's how I felt. Now, I guess for me, I raised a son, and I can see it. While I see all of the inequalities that women have to face as girls from birth, I've seen it, I experienced it, I lived it myself. There's a certain amount of mistreatment that boys and men get in this world too, that people don't acknowledge. And so since I had a boy, raising this boy has me personally aware of this. And I'm an advocate for boys and men in that regard. Because when it comes to children and family, a lot of the times these men are mistreated and disrespected, and their feelings are discounted. They're not as important. The only decision that I feel should remain her is the whole am I going to have this baby type of decision. That's
Gotcha.
the one thing where he has to step back a little. I'm not saying that his feelings shouldn't be considered at all, but the final decision is in her body. I believe that. But
Okay.
when it comes to other things, how are you going to sit there and tell this man that he can't be there to witness his son coming out and cut the cord and, excuse me, experience all of that? And the mother to want to rob him of that, to put her feelings first, is extremely selfish to me.
Well, so the most important person in the life of the child is the same-sex parent. So if you're wondering why Black men are lagging behind, 84% of Black women grow up with a mom in the house. 84% of Black boys don't grow up with a daddy in the house. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the bigger picture of the social engineering to extrapolate the man from the family, you extrapolate the man from the family and the whole thing collapses. So you have women who are now, in what it felt like was mama was trying to overcompensate for her father not being around, and kind of taking the, doing the projection onto the boy, onto the male. Ain't been no male. We don't need no male. We got this and da 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 da, rah rah rah. No, that's a boy child, and he wanted to be. He wanted to rob him of the opportunity to do for the child what was not done for him. See,
right
here, this thing has levels to it. He needed to do that so that he could begin the healing process in himself by being there for his son.
Right.
So, the other thing that I noticed, it felt like the daughter was spousified or spousified. Mom is so dependent on her daughter, like overly dependent, like a spouse. And nobody talks about spousification of Black women. And it's usually the oldest girl, and she usually overfunctions, overthinks, she overworks. She got to take care. Once she got big enough to take care of her mama, then the roles kind of switched. So spousification, that's a whole nother show. And then this legacy of they came from a long line of men not being involved. So why get one involved now? See, so mama's handed down to her what was handed to her, and so on. And this is where men get parsed out, for being in the life of the child. It's a real sad state of affairs, because a boy child needs his dad, because a woman can't take him but for so far. And that boy turns 12, 13 years old, he's just as strong as his mama.
You better know it.
And he gonna need He gonna need a man to get up in his chest when he hits 15, 16. If that doesn't take place, what's going to happen.
Well, let me tell you something. I probably have said this before when we talked about this in the past. But I'm going to say this again. The day I realized my son was a hair taller than me, just a little bit, I went in his room unannounced. I went busting up in his room, grabbed him by his shirt collar, and put him up against the wall. And I said, look, let me tell you something. You may be taller than me, but don't you forget I'm still your mama. And I said, I will knock you out if you ever try to mess with me. He was like, Mom, what did I do? I said, you didn't do nothing. I just got to let you know. I just got to remind you who I am. And he thought I was so wrong at the time. But when we talk about it now, he understands. But then he was so upset with me. I had to let him know. Don't get it twisted. It's because you taller and you strong and all that.
So there was no event prior to he didn't.
No. One day, let me tell you what happened. I'm in the kitchen one day. And he always would come in and say, "Hey, mom, like what's for dinner?" and give me a hug. And I noticed he was like over me a little bit. And I was like, and I didn't say anything at the time. And so a few days went by after I realized it. And then that's what I did. But he got the message. That may not have been the best way to handle it, but I did it. That's what I did. Because I had to make sure that he knew. Listen, I know your father's not here. I know it's just me. And I said, but don't take that for weakness. I will take you out of here. And I just had to let him know. It worked.
So what you're saying is this was unprovoked.
No, yeah, it was unprovoked. It wasn't like he did something. I said, hold up, let me let you know something. This was preemptive. I let him know ahead of time. Don't even start thinking that way. That's what I was saying. I did not even want your mind to even go in that direction.
Okay.
Nah.
So when he goes out and chooses a spouse, he's going to look for a woman like you.
Yeah, sort of, probably.
Okay.
But I think I'm great, so I don't know. No, but she doesn't boss him around though. She doesn't boss him around, but we do have some characters similarities, but
you think
we're a lot different though. We're a lot different in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but
anyway, enough about me. I just wanted you to know that I told him no for that reason, because I know how important the same-sex parent is, especially for boys. They gotta have that. And there are certain things that a woman just can't teach them. Even though we know some of the dynamics of it, it still feels different coming from a female voice. Even the register of our and tone of our voice makes them feel different. I know. I studied this now, Lynn. I did study it. You're absolutely right. Well, I know you're right. I'm co-signing for the public that's watching. Yes, you are right. I know you're right. But
that same sex. It's super important.
I had to get that straight. But anyway, so that leads me to the next one. I got another one. I call this one Read the Room. Now, this goes to somebody, a grown man, grown women, and they're trying to date to find their person, right? I know you've probably seen these videos online where they had to pop the balloon crap. I just can't stand that thing. I really can't. It's something about it. Yeah. It's like people use it to trash people more than really help people. And I don't really like it. But this one particular one that I saw recently epitomizes everything that I don't like about it. Right? I thought it would be interesting to get your take on it. So I call it Read the Room because, well, you'll see why I say that. I think you'll be able to figure out why I'm saying it. But hold on a second. Where is it? It's him right here. Okay. Put him on here. I did not know. Righty.
So why did you end up popping your balloon?
So like the other lady said, I have seen you on previous episodes, and I did find it a little distasteful, but I guess I'll say, I think you say you're very confident, but when somebody brings up height, you get very defensive, which is not indicative of confidence. And so for me, I wanted to hear you out because I did have a prefixed judgment of you, but I wanted to hear you out. And then that interaction kind of confirmed what I prejudged. So
you're done.
All right. No, she's someone that's your type.
She's good. She's definitely a catch.
Thank you.
But I think he was wrong with that. The fixation height that y'all women have, that's a
Don't
problem.
say y'all. I never spoke on your height.
You just spoke on the height.
No, I never spoke on your height. I never spoke on your height. I said what you did on your previous episodes was distasteful to me, but I wanted to give you a chance to come out here and interact with you myself. I actually wanted to answer one of your questions, which is why I had my balloon unpopped. But you got, I won't say sassy. You got defensive with her, and I didn't appreciate that. And I feel like you were like that on the previous episodes, and I saw it in real life.
That's not you. That's a whole nother woman. So you a girl's girl?
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
Define girl's girl.
Oh, you a girl's girl. You know exactly what that means.
No, define girl's girl.
You're a girl's girl.
Define girl's girl.
That kind of mean you would choose a woman before you choose a man. That's what that would mean.
Yes.
You would? Okay.
Let's move on. Let's go down here. Your name and age.
Y'all gonna get it today.
Hi, I'm Shaylin and I'm 30.
Shaylin, what do you do?
I'm a nursing student.
And so why did you end up popping your balloon?
I'm copping out. It's because you're short.
Okay.
And I don't like men that argue with women. All that going back and forth is crazy.
Okay.
Is she someone that's your type?
She's nice. She'll catch. But then again, she's a girl's girl.
Keep
You're a
it
follower.
cute. Keep it cute.
You're a follower, love.
Keep it cute,
You
buddy.
weren't about what I'm telling the next woman. You're a follower.
Here you go. Argue
Worry
with
about
women
what I tell
again.
you.
That's
It's really
crazy.
not about being argumentative. It's about really letting you women know what's the deal on a national television show, YouTube.
We're not
right?
interested. It's okay.
It's all
Just
good.
take
You
it
don't
to
have
the
to be
chin,
interested,
move
but you're
on.
gonna listen to what I gotta tell you after
Let's
you
move
say
on.
what
Let's
you
move
said,
on.
right?
Let's move on.
It's all fair game.
Yeah. Okay, dude. This is why everybody popped their balloon. When I saw this, the first time I saw it, I had to play it again a few times because I was like, did I really just hear this dude say this? He's in a room full of women that he's trying to get. He's trying to find one. And this is how he's going to talk? I mean, did you hear him when he said, you're going to get it today? You're going to get it today. I'm going to get this today.
Well,
I'm like, what? Are we in the street? Is this hood TV? Is that what this is? What suggestions would you give to this guy? Do you, what would you give to the guy?
You can't help him. That's bad. That's I feel bad saying it. I wrote my dissertation on narcissism. So within the first 38 seconds, I'm going, got it. And this is what I teach my female clients to look for the signs of narcissism. Now, you won't see those signs if you are a codependent.
Oh, okay.
See.
Listen, people.
There wasn't any. The reasons the balloons popped there wasn't a codependent in the room.
Got you. No codependence. No narcissist will win with them.
Because only a codependent woman would respond to him.
Got it.
So let's tie back some of the old stuff into what we got going on now. So only a codependent woman would respond to him, and so, but he's narcissistic, and that's 20 sessions to even get to the core of what's going on with him. Could be abuse, could be, he doesn't have a very favorable opinion of women. Probably has issues with his mama. Okay. Because most women who grow up and respect their mom and love their mom wouldn't come off to a woman like that. Most of them. So then, and anybody who's made the claim that they were an alpha male, I've always found them to be narcissistic.
Yeah. They mistake that narcissism for strength.
Right.
And it's not.
It is not. No, but it's trying to overcompensate from the whatever childhood trauma was suffered.
Right. Well, do you think that the women in the room learned anything from him in addition to what they don't want? Did they learn anything else from him?
Well, when you see the exchange of energy, I'm a big energy person. When you see that kind of energy, you learn to read it. We see when we're children, language is energy. Wah, come clean me. Wah, come play with me. Wah, you knew what each wah meant. It was energy. Now we get sophisticated as we get older and we start using words instead of energy, and then the sense kind of goes away because now you got words to express exactly what you want. But yeah, that energy exchange, and y'all gonna learn today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how he said it.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna learn today. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what in the what?
Only a codependent woman would tolerate that, and that's what he's used to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there weren't any on the show today, and they're all like, these women got their own money, got their own resources. They they want a man, they don't need a man.
Got it.
That part.
Got it. I got you. I hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I was very put off by this guy, but like I said, he epitomizes what I don't like about this pop the balloon situation in general. Whenever I see them, I remember the first time I saw one, I cringed because I'm like, you mean to tell me there's like 12 women or 12 guys standing there, and this woman walks up, and these dudes look at her and they're like, nope. And it was like more than half of them popped their balloon. And I could tell by her body language, her shoulders went down. Even though she's standing in her microphone, and her shoulders went down and her head dropped a little. I could tell that was affecting her self-esteem right there.
Oh, of course it was.
Yeah. And I was like, what show is really popping? I didn't even understand at first, right? I was like, they're popping their balloon. What's the balloon got to do with this? What, I had to, see what was going on. Yeah.
I mean,
but she started going down the road asking, why did you pop your balloon? And they're reading this woman. And all she did was walk in and say her name, how old she is, and what she does for a living. That was it. That's it. And what are you looking for in a guy? That was it. Those 4 things. Well, and before they could even get that out, she walks in and they pop the balloon. It's like, what? She's just not my type. She's just a little thicker than I like. She's just a little taller than I like. Something about her hair. She's got fake lashes on. I don't like fake hair and lashes and anything. I don't like that. I'm like, oh my God, no way in the world I could be on a show like that.
Well, men are attracted to what they see. Men go by what they see. Women go by what they hear. So when you see the man up, it's a visual thing. And then you kind of delve in a little deeper to see if you can get a match, which is kind of ass backwards. So, but the women who come in, they're using this. Men are using these. So everyone that I've seen resulted in some type of child energy exchange. Because if I sit up there, well, you ain't really my type, you kind of light skin and stuff, I don't really like light skinned women, and so naturally the person who's on the receiving end of that is going to parry it back to you. Well, you ain't really my type. You kind of short, you kind of, you got gold in your teeth, So here's the spark of that child energy. What the child energy results in is parallel escalation. We're both going to go up until the moderator steps in and says, "Hey, okay, let me cool y'all down."
Right? Yeah. She was like, let's just keep it moving. Let's just keep it moving.
Right, because it's going to.
But dig this, Lynn. This guy on this video had been on there before.
Sure.
Because remember, the first woman that talked about she had seen him on a previous episode, but she wanted to give him a chance to talk and explain himself. But now she sees he's the jerk that she thought he was. Right? That's basically what she was saying. Right. My question was to the moderator, why would you have him back on the show? Because evidently he turned a whole lot of people off the first time he came on. Why would you have? Well, we know it's for clicks, and we know this. That's the social media marketing reason, but that's not the reason. I'm talking about for the integrity of what you're really supposed to be trying to do. Why would you have a person like that back? I wouldn't have him back. I wouldn't give a platform, even though it's great for video and likes and all that. I wouldn't have somebody back like that on my show. I don't care how many clicks I get from it. I'm just not, no, I'm not giving you the narcissist who seems to have a real issue with women, and I'm a woman. I'm not selling my soul out for some clicks and likes. I'm just not doing it, but that's me.
I mean, but if you got 1 million YouTube visitors, that's $12,000, $15,000, $16,000 a month. And you want to keep that going.
But not having this one, if I'm that successful, not having this one guy back is not going to affect me. I got 20,000 more others I can have on.
See, and I know the YouTube game, the eyeball count went up. And this guy comes on, viewers go up. And the reason viewers go up is because you're looking at, I'm going to be conservative. I think that narcissism affects probably 60, 70% of Black males. So if you're wondering why it's kind of hard to find one, and then again, let's tie this into, I didn't have a man in my house. I'd never seen a man love my mama. I never seen my mama love a man. So I'm a blank canvas. When I hit 18 and I'm out in the street or school or military or whatever, I don't have no conceptualization of what it's like. And this guy fits that bill. He never seen a man love his mama. He never seen his mama love a man. And so the route to go is to take the tough route. You know, the Bible said I should be the lead, you know, and so that's a whole nother ball of wax. But that frequency, now if he were, he thought he was here.
Got you.
Now, if every last one of those women had been a doctor, a lawyer, somebody of stature and professional, you would have seen his tone change. See, he's going to you adjust your tone to what's your audience. So if coming out there, the first one said, yeah, I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon, I work at the hospital. The second one said, I'm a lawyer, I do this, that, and the third. The stack of professionalism, he would have changed his tone like that.
And see, I'm hoping that that's true, but that's why I named it "Read the Room," because I felt like he didn't read the room. He went from the one girl and started berating her, gets to the next one and does the same thing to her. I'm like, are you not reading the room? No, everybody popped their balloon and she's telling you, and you get to the next person and you do the same thing. I'm like, you definitely a narcissist. That's the first thing I thought. I said, you definitely are a narcissist, very full of yourself, and you do no wrong. It's you. You all are the problem. All 12 of these women, y'all the problem.
And that's an overt narcissist. The one you have to worry about is the covert narcissist. They're not as obvious.
The sneaky ones.
Those are the ones that use the love bomb.
Okay. Well, see, I knew which terms to get you to explain in the beginning. See, I put some thought into this. You see where all this is tying all together. Don't say the chocolate writer don't know what she's doing over here. I know what I'm doing.
Hey, you got it anyway.
I know you do. But listen, we're gonna get to the next one, the next situation, as I call it. But this is not a video, it's just a graphic. So I'm gonna show you this, and we're gonna talk about this one in a bit. This was kind of conflated to me. I don't know if I missed some of the meaning behind what they're saying on this graphic or not, but it's just weird. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So the dark part below was the original post. And this guy said, a woman working 40 plus hours a week, paying for her own hair, nails, rent, car, food, gas, handling everything by herself is not going to be the soft, feminine woman you expect her to be. And no, she can't bring you peace when she's in survival mode. That's what he says. This other person reposts it, and she says, how is this survival mode? LOL. This is called being an unmarried grown-up. That's like saying a man who works 40 hours a week and cooks his own food and does his own laundry and cleans his own house won't be the provider and protector. LOL. Some sarcasm there. What's your reaction to this?
A woman working 40 hours a week, paying for her own.
Hard-working woman. She's working hard. She's in survival mode, they say. She's in survival mode, so she can't be feminine. She can't be feminine and soft.
Let me explain it like this. So, because I deal with married couples all the time. And when a woman is forced to overthink, overwork, overfunction, she comes out her femininity and goes over into her masculinity, because that's where she's going to get some stuff done. Now, hopefully, the problem, normally times the problem is, can you go back to your femininity? A lot of them don't want to go back. I got this, that, So there's some truth to that. But the caveat is a different man will bring out a different aspect of a woman. If she dated 10 men, she's going to be 10 different ways with each man. I mean, each man is going to bring out something different. So he may not have had the combination to unlock the lock. So you can give that sour grape speech. Well, she wouldn't have been, but there's a man who will the energy will put her into her femininity instantly. It ain't him. She ain't gonna do it for everybody.
Right.
That part.
Well, do you agree with either of the characterizations in this graphic? Because there's one I agree with and one that I don't.
Yeah, the one up here on the top, how's that survival mode? That's like saying a man who works 40 hours a week ain't gonna be a provider and protector. Yeah. Provide,
I agree with that person.
Protect and let's see, provide, protect, and provision. Okay, so and here's where we get into premiums and check boxes, right? If I sacrifice my standard because this person has a premium, could be a job, could be a look, could be body, could be car status, this person has a premium that I pay particular attention to. So I may relax some of my standards because this person has a premium. But inevitably, once the premium wears off and none of your boxes are checked, you're going to be frustrated. You're not going to hang around long, because after you get used to the premium, it's like, okay, well, what else do you have? Because, you sacrificed your standards to be here. So, and I tell people, make sure this person checks your standards. That premium will be tempting. It will be all that. But if they're not checking your boxes, what's going to happen is resentment. And the resentment will be the elephant in the room. And once those premiums wear off, you're either going to get ghosted, or I'm going to argue my way out of the relationship, or, we're going to break up.
Got you. I can see that. Well, we have questions from the audience, Dr. Lynn. You always generate questions from the audience. You always do whenever. But Sister Sheila's in the comments. Hello, Sheila, this morning. You mentioned that 60% of men are narcissists. She said to discuss that more, and what are the percentages for women that are narcissists?
Okay. Again, well, when you have 85% of Black boys not growing up with a daddy in the house, I think it is the foundation for narcissism. Because the boy child needs to be able to imprint. You say, my grandfather was a man in my life, so when he's shaving, I'm shaving. He took the blade out so I wouldn't cut my face off. He's shaving, I'm shaving. his nose in the hood of a car, my nose in the hood of a car. I'm imprinting. This is where I learned to be, you know, if I don't grow up with that, or I grow up with a house full of women, right? Yeah, that part. When do I get a chance to, you know, who do there's no prototype for me to copy. And so when I meet you, I'm, you know, I have some idea, but I've never seen a man love a woman. I've never seen a woman love a man. And if I'm looking at TV, which is the absolute worst example, I'm not going to have a clue. So narcissism is going to be really high for it's especially, I mean, most of the guys who are narcissists are in jail. Most of the narcs are in jail. So percentage wise, the female narcissism is on the rise. No one ever talks about it because a lot of women get spouseified. I've been unfortunately privy to a case where this woman raised her daughter to be all she can be so that she could take care of her later on when she got older.
Wow. Well, wow.
I can't tell you how much that goes on. You know, oh, I got to take care of my mom. Oh, I got to put, you know, I got to do like, well, wait a minute. You know, your mom's not like, you know. So mom spouseified the daughter. This is what spouseification is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know it was that deep. Wow.
It's way deep. And it's
so
like,
what percentage of women would you say are narcissists?
It's climbing. I think it's approaching 50% now. It's climbing.
Oh, okay.
It's not a small percentage.
Okay.
You know,
Gotcha.
All you have to do is look at the Housewives of Atlanta and you can see.
Well.
Kind of obvious.
You know, but maybe I should have you on. We need to do a reality TV breakdown show with you because the mentality of some of these people on these reality shows, I just don't get it. And you're putting this out for the world to see unapologetically for a check. I just can't. I don't know. It's something about that just baffles me. But we go ahead.
Let me give you the 60,000 foot view. So the goal of social engineering is to separate you from your divinity. That God within you, your moral compass. I'm gonna separate you, and I'll do it in repetition because if I can get you to laugh at it, anything you laugh at, you fundamentally agree with. Usually, you know, you find yourself doubled over in laughter. You agree with whatever's being said.
Oh gosh, Lynn, you know that makes so much sense because that could be part of the reason why sometimes when I catch a clip of one of these shows and people are either laughing on screen in the clip or people in the comments putting laugh emojis, and I'm sitting here watching like this isn't funny. This is not funny because it's something I don't agree with it. Gotcha.
There you go.
Got you. Because it's not funny to me. Some of these things I see people doing on national TV, it's just not funny. And people say, "Oh, she did this. Oh, she did that." And I'm sitting here like, she should be embarrassed and ashamed for what she just did. That's not cute. That's not cute.
Well, you're firmly attached to your divinity, and you obviously have a moral compass. See, the goal is to find somebody else like that. That part. You have a moral compass, and are you in touch with the God on the inside of you?
I'm up close and personal with him. I'll tell you that. We right here. Me and God. I tell you, we right here. But I got one more. I call it the lack of integrity video. This video is probably one of my favorite videos I've run across on social media in a while. Okay. It's one of those tonight's conversation videos. You've seen that before, I'm sure.
Okay.
And there's a lot of things that I've heard people say on those videos that I don't agree with. And then every now and then there's a gem. that I do agree with. But I'm gonna play this video. And I tell you, when I first I had to play this is another one I had to play several times before I was like, you this, how can you stand up here and say this like this is okay? I don't know. I don't know. Let's go. Then make sure you let me know if you can't hear it, but I think you should be.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember this one.
Come on now. Come on. Okay. It ain't. Just trying not to play.
I've been married for more than 15 years.
Congratulations.
I have been in a side relationship that my husband recently found out about. How can I convince my husband to let me keep the side dude?
Well, first of all, he shouldn't. You need to change that convince word to manipulate.
Ooh.
We're not gonna play those games right now. You took a vow. You took vows. You stood before God or whatever it is you believe in and said that you were going to love this man. It's sickness and through health, for rich and for poor. You said that you committed whenever you took that vow. You committed to be there even in the hard times, even in the times where you were not fully emotionally fulfilled. You still took on that position to say that I'm going to have those conversations. I'm going to communicate. I'm not going to breach the trust in this marriage. You lack marital integrity. And if you lack marital integrity, you lack integrity as a person as well. So my next point to make is the audacity must be on sale right now for you to be able to say, how can I convince my husband, a man at that, convince my husband to let me still have a side relationship as if I did not betray this man, as if I did not hurt this man, as if I did not dishonor this man, as if I did not disrespect this man, and you want to ask for something? You want to ask for what it seems like more of a favor because it's only going to work in your favor. It's nothing that is going to work for him. I don't like when we play these games like this. You entered into what you two believe was a monogamous agreement, and you made it a polyamorous thing.
Ooh.
You did.
Ooh.
Let me tell you something else that you did. Let's talk about the lack of responsibility. I'm gonna tell you one more thing because I'm sure some other panelists have something to say. This is the problem that I have. Whenever you open up your marriage to something that somebody else did not consent to, if your side piece has depression or anxiety or anything like that, there's a spiritual exchange that takes place when you go sleep with somebody else that you now have invited into your home. So part of the reason why your marriage is not happy is because you were lusting over the fence to begin with.
Ooh.
You invited that into your marriage. You corrupted your home. The best thing for you to do, because he does have the right to leave you, the best thing that you could do, the responsible thing you can do, is either end that relationship on the side or leave that man alone and let somebody else find him.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
Well, how are you doing today? I mean, I played that thing over and over again. It was so many lessons in her response. And to me, it was one of the most thought out, real, raw, straight up, no chaser responses I have heard in a while on a podcast show about relationships. So I really wanted your reaction to it. I've been holding on to this video for weeks because I wanted to know, what is your reaction to the woman who actually asked the question first?
Oh, yeah.
And then to the answer that was given.
So, no shame, no guilt,
Right.
no nothing. I mean, this is what narcissism looks like in a woman, because her husband, we talked about this earlier, her husband checked all of the standard boxes. She didn't have no premium. The side piece is all premium. So I'm trying to convince him to let me do my premium. I don't want to leave you because you got a lot. You check all of my boxes. That provider, provision, protector, that you check all those boxes. Need that. That's my foundation. But you don't give me that premium. And women have different premiums, right? I like a man that's tall. I want him to have all his teeth. I want him to be good in bed. I want him to make six figures. And this guy checked all the standard boxes, but he didn't check any premium boxes. And what she's trying to do is to have her cake and eat it as well. So when she checked her, I was looking at her face. She was still smiling. There was no shame. There was no remorse. There was nothing. Yep. So that tells me in terms of narcissistic behavior, that if you want to know what it looks like, that's it. Because it ain't going to make sense to her until her husband serves her with divorce papers. And I've watched hundreds of episodes of Cheaters. And usually the person who gets caught has one of two reactions. She don't mean shit to me. Or, well, I was going to leave your ass anyway. See the one or two reactions. It's one of those. So I think I see which side she's probably going to fall down on, but hey, you never know.
Yeah. I just was stunned. Because, she started out, I've been married for 15 years and everybody congratulating her. I'm thinking, okay, where is this going? And then I'm like, what? I actually stopped the video after she said that, before she even continued with her question. After she said, I've been in a side relationship, I stopped the video and I was like, what? Started from the beginning again and listened to it. Then I listened to it all the way through. I'm like, I knew, and when I saw Kitty's face come up, I knew Kitty was going to let her, kick her a new one. I knew she was. I knew it because she is so pro-marriage and honoring the marriage. If you're not going to honor it, then you need to get out, period. None of this fooling around with it. And that's how I feel. I feel cheating is a decision. I've always said this to people, the guys I've dealt with. There's no excuse for cheating. Cheating is a decision. When you're with somebody, you decide you're going to be with them. If you don't want to be with them any longer, then you need to get out. Don't cheat. There's no need for it. So let me see. Are you frozen, Lynn? You're frozen? I think you're frozen. But yes, what do you guys think in the comments? Put in your reaction to this video in the comments. What kind of audacity did this win? Notice she said the audacity must be on sale. And I agree with that. No integrity. My sister Sheila said no integrity. Yes, there was no shame. Husband needs to file before she gets home from that show. If he saw her on it, he probably didn't even know she was on there. She might have one of those husbands that don't even have social media. I've seen that a lot. So, let me see. I think he's going to go out and come back in. But yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments what you think. What I'm going to say to you guys watching is how I felt when I first saw this video. It was just shocking to me that this woman would actually stand up on live TV or live streaming TV or whatever you want to call it and actually stand there and say this to people. It makes me wonder, is she really married and doing this, or is she just saying it to ask the question for the show? Because I can't see, if I really was cheating, that I would actually stand up at a show with my whole face and body showing and ask that question in that way. I just can't see me doing that. Even if my husband didn't have social media. I mean, it would be embarrassing to him, embarrassing and disrespectful to him as a man, as a husband and everything, to let it be known I've been cheating on this guy for how many. In the way she's asked the question, it seemed like she was saying she'd been messing around for almost their whole marriage, but she didn't say that. But it just felt that way in the way that she's, addressed the question. Let me see what's going on with Lynn. There he is.
I don't know what happened.
Hey, there you are. Well, hey, it happens every now and then. It's technology. What can we do? We can't explain it. It just happens.
I'm gonna get a bigger bandwidth. That's what I'm gonna do. But anyway,
but yeah, I was just explaining to our audience how I felt when I was watching it. I felt like, and you can tell me, you can react to what I'm saying, you know, what I'm thinking, and let me know what your thoughts are. I thought, how disrespectful and dishonorable to this man for you to stand up on a streaming show. Your whole face and body is visible. So everybody who can see this, who may know you, sees this, and you're letting it come out of your mouth. You are cheating on your husband and he doesn't know. And what can I do to help him let me keep cheating? Okay. Just for her to even stand there in that venue in that way to ask that question out loud is just dishonorable. I mean, I was just you hear about people clutching their pearls. This is why I keep touching my necklace, because that is really how I felt. I was like, oh my goodness. She just said this out loud in front of everybody, all these thousands of people in the room. It's being live streamed. Oh my God.
I think I know why. I think I know. If I can't get any attention from you, some people want to be caught. Let me set this up. Whatever's going on in her 15-year relationship, she wasn't getting enough of something.
Gotcha.
And she's tried and she's tried and she's tried. I know what I'll do. I'll go to that show and I'm going to just bear all, knowing that it is going to get back around to him. Now, you can do this unconsciously or you can do it consciously. But if I want your attention, if you ain't paying me no attention, I know how to get your attention. See, I want your attention. I want your attention, whether it's good or bad. I want your attention. I know how to get it too. Watch this. Because nothing else makes sense. Why, if I'm trying to be all clandestine, why would I get on a broadcast that's right unless I want to be caught?
And that's what I was saying while you were out. I said either it could be that. I didn't say that part, but you're right. I agree with you. I hadn't thought about that. But also, could she have been just saying this for the show and this really not her relationship? Like she's really not really married and cheating on her husband. She just said this for the show to, ask a question and make the show interesting. She could have been a plant. I don't know, but it didn't feel like it to me. It felt very real to me.
if it were a plant, then all the actors were superb. So, but that wasn't the energy I was feeling because
me either.
Homegirl kind of tightened her up. I mean, I think she's married. I know she's married.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Is she the only one that's married up there?
No, I don't think so. But I know she is, and I know.
The guys are married.
But see, they don't have the same panel in every city. Sometimes they switch some of them out, and there are others who are married on the panel that I've seen besides her. But yeah, she's very married, and she's always done marriage type of videos. Yeah, just her sitting in the car. She used to do. She still does that. Yeah. So I don't know. It just felt everything wrong to me. I was like, how could you do this to this man? Now he could be a jerk. He could be a jerk.
See, we don't know the whole story.
That's right. He could be the biggest jerk in the world. But listen, my mom and daddy always taught me 2 wrongs don't make it right. You don't do wrong for wrong. You don't do that. And this is why she looks like the idiot here. She got her butt red. You hear me? Kitty read her. And now she stood up thinking, watch this. And now she looked like Boo Boo the Fool standing there. You see the audience members' faces? They were looking at her
I did.
If they had a cup of tea, that's all they needed. That's all they needed. you know.
Well, the disturbing part was the smile that she kept the whole way.
Yes, the
There was
whole
no
way. Even when
remorse.
she was like, this, it was still a smile. But she was, and almost like she was mocking her, saying, "Oh well, who you think you are saying this to me?" Type of look.
You know, and you know, you're saying when you, I hadn't thought of her being a plant, but if it were a plant, yeah, that because no, what woman wants to put her stuff out there like that? So
Well,
it
that's
could
what I
go,
was thinking.
it could go several
And
different
and
directions.
it could be that she wasn't a plant, that she just made it up on her own, just to sound
Yeah,
interesting.
15
You know,
years. I'm
people
gonna
do
blow
that.
up my 15-year relationship. I'm gonna blow it up on
Right.
national,
Right.
on
So
the
she
internet.
could have just made the whole thing. She might not even really be married. You know, she could have just said it just for the show on her own, not as a plan. And if that's the case, fine. I don't have a problem with you pretending to be that just so you can find out. Maybe you're pretending for somebody else. I don't know. But I just if that were her real life though, you're absolutely right. What woman would stand up and throw that out there like that? Why would you do? I mean,
No,
her
no,
hands are
unless you
not
want.
clean. Your hands are dirty, chick. You're not making yourself look good here.
Nope. And she did it with malice. That smile or that Cheshire grin smile that was on her face.
Right.
It's like
And then her friends could be watching, her boss could be watching, her church members could be watching. My sister put in the comments, beyond reproach, disgusting. I would drop her as a so-called friend. What do you think about that? Because see, I'm one of those people. If I have a friend that does something that's just so morally reprehensible to me, I'm putting distance. We probably aren't going to be friends anymore. It's probably
no,
going to be cut.
correct.
Like I can't roll with you.
No, none of my friends are narcissists. So none of
Well,
them.
I hope I'm your friend, Lynn.
Yeah, of course you are. So, but I don't have no narcs in my life. All the narcs in my life either got divorced, broken up, or kicked out. Once I figured it out, because a narcissist, when you narcissists have three very distinct stages. There's the infatuation stage. That's where that love bomb stuff occurs. There's a devaluation stage where I'm no longer interested in the relationship. And then there's the discard phase where I'm done with you. Those are three very distinct. And you know, people wonder why they get ghosted. Yeah, you were probably in the discard phase. It went so well, and I hear women say this all the time. You know, he checked all the boxes, he did this, but what she was dating was his representative.
Right. We end up mentioning a representative every time you're on the show. Oh, that's that word I'm always looking for you to say it because it comes up and it's so real and prominent.
The representative's job is to get you hooked. Once I got you hooked, now you're in my debt. That part. Now
and isn't it the representative that is skilled at love bombing?
Oh yeah, yeah. See, but what I had to break to her was the person you fell in love with never existed. And I mean, you talk about crestfallen. I mean, it was. I said, yeah, and I hate to break that to you, but you know, and this is why I always like, you know, for some women, see a male about men probably because we know men know each other's bullshit, like, right. And I can tell you, you know, that's why you take your male spouse around or your boyfriend, you take them around all your male cousins, your dad, your brothers, because they'll tell you the bullshit. And they'll tell you, don't marry that dude. Don't marry that dude because I see that part of me, I see it in him. And you don't have to speak the language. It's all energy. Men pick up on each other's energy. So if your brother tells you, yeah, don't mess with that guy, you probably should listen to that.
You should listen. And that's the reason why, I am very happy most of my friends are male. And I've always had men very willing to talk to me about how men are in my life. And my father did too, in a lot of ways. But, as a young adult and you leave your parents' house, you need some men in your life to tell you these things.
Right.
And I got told very early, don't trust this right here.
the autopilot is the inner child. The inner child is the one who's picking your mates, because the inner child wants to finish childhood. So the theory is, I'm going to pick somebody who reminds me of the parent that gave me the hardest time. That's not gender specific. I could pick a woman who reminds me of my father. Right? It's not gender specific, but what it's very energy specific. And the reason is my inner child wants to finish childhood. So if my daddy owes me a childhood, or my mama owes me a childhood, I'm gonna pick somebody just like them. Think about it. When you bring that person home and one of your parents just click, they go off in the room, they all like, wow, boy, my mom and my man get along real good. Yeah, they're just alike. Because you pick the
wow. Ouch. Never thought about that.
Nobody thinks about it until they go, so what you mean say, and they tell, I'm like, I'm giving it to you straight. You picked somebody just like you. Well, I don't want to pick somebody just like that. Right. Okay. Well, the question comes up, how do you love yourself? If you want to stop picking somebody like your mom, you have to figure out how do you love yourself, so that you're not trying to retrofit your childhood and hold a man or a woman accountable to help you finish your childhood. Because there's going to be a divorce every single time. What you need in order to be successful with dating, you need to find somebody like you. That's the key. You don't want nobody who's opposite of you. It's bullshit. Why would I want somebody opposite of me? We never get anything done. Why would I want a woman who thinks like a man? We never get anything done. So what I really needed, putting my own stuff out there, what I really needed was that quiet little church girl in the corner. That's what I needed, because that's me. I'm introverted. I'm shy. That was an introverted, shy woman over there. But because she didn't present the drama that my mom had, and I remember the rationalization I had was, she's nice, but she don't give me the drama and the energy. See, I'm not trying. See, now I know better. Now I'm in grad school finding this out. I'm like, oh my God. But the last 5 women I had dated were cookie cutters of my mama. Cookie cutters, head shape, body shape, glasses, hair, you name it. And you could be in a room with 1,000 people, and you with your guy, you'd be like, who's that one right there? Who's that one? Because that's the one that's vibrating on the exact same frequency as my mom. You'll find it every time. Everybody's done it. Who's that?
Who's that one person in the whole room?
Right. And then when
you zoom right in on this person.
When you know it's true when they say something like, I feel like I've known you all my life. You ever heard that? I feel like I've known you all my life.
Yes,
you should run
I've
like
heard
hell.
that. Yeah.
You should run like hell. Don't.
Why didn't I run? But yeah, I have heard that before. I have.
I have. Yeah. You should run.
Well, I haven't said it, but I have heard it. But
we didn't have the resources or the education until now, and this is why I encourage people to see somebody, get out of your head, because you're not always right. Get out your head, talk to somebody else, get somebody else's opinion.
Right.
It'll save you money. I always tell people, coaching, therapy, counseling, it saves you so much money. You can't see it.
Yes. Most definitely.
It's gonna save you money.
Most definitely. Time and money and heart. It can save you heartache too. It
That
can.
part. That part.
And that heartache, there's some heartache, there's no value, no dollar amount you can put on it. I tell you.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Well, listen, as usual, this has been another great session with Dr. Lynn Sturdivant, psychologist, and just the man, the love doctor. And before we go, please tell everyone how they can find you on social media or your website address and everything so they can reach out to you if they want to and learn more.
Okay, so Relationship Coach Pro. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and it should have my contact information, my email and phone number there so that you can reach out to me. Yeah, I do a free 15-minute video so that I can figure out what it is. I can tell you how it can and should be addressed, and if it's a good match, then I'll lay out the plan for how you can do it. So yeah, the Relationship Coach Pro. You'll see my name, Leonard Sterner, or you can just Google my name, should come up.
Leonard Sturdivant.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so fun. I like Lynn's much shorter. But yeah, either way.
Yes. I'm putting all this in the live chat there. Relationship Coach Pro on Facebook and Instagram. And do you have a separate website too?
I did, but I moved the website to because my Instagram and my Facebook got more traffic than my website. So
okay, got you. And are you on YouTube at all?
I am. Let me give you this new number on. I should know this number by heart. It is 919-351-5262. That is the number to catch me at, and it'll definitely. If I'm not in session, then just leave a message, and I will catch up to you.
All right, that's for more information or to set an appointment.
I do free 15 minutes with everybody. So especially if you're premarital. See me. But the caveat to my premarital is sometimes I break people up in their premarital.
When you go to these premarital things, you want to know if the person's the one. You want to know, should we move forward? You got to be willing to face the truth. You got to want the truth, though. You can't come up in there not wanting to know the truth. You just want to be told I'm right.
Yeah. See, but everybody is so focused on the premiums, they're not looking to see that their standard boxes are checked. And if you get married and only a couple of your standard boxes are checked, it's gonna show up. It's gonna show up and it's gonna show out, and it's not gonna be pretty.
Gonna be pretty.
So one of my premarital questions. Okay, so you're on a boat, you're on a cruise, your mom, your kid, and your spouse fall overboard.
Oh.
You are a strong swimmer. You can't save a woman. Who you gonna save?
I hate this question. Oh my God.
What you do? See, but
I don't like to answer.
But the person who's trying to get with you is dialed into everything that's coming out your mouth right now.
I know.
And I'm telling you, when this dude said, "Oh, I gotta save my mom. That's my girl, but I'm gonna come back and get mine." He said, "If it's mom first." That woman needed to know that.
She needed to know.
She needed to know.
Let's see.
Because the marriage has got to come before your family. Because this is a new family. The man's
Right.
got to come before your family, my family, and the man's has got to come before the children.
Yeah.
Some
Unfortunately,
people don't
that
want
is
to
the
hear that.
case. That
Yeah.
is the case. But I'm a mama, man. I just can't. I remember we talked about this before. I just can't see saying any other name but my son. I just can't see it. But I understand what you're saying. I understand up here. I get it. But
It's tricky when it's a step situation or your second marriage, but the covenant is the same. The covenant comes through the man. So yeah, I don't want to get too religious about that, but yeah, that factors in there too.
okay. Well, thank you once again. Let's do our final thoughts for the day, and I'll start with you since you're our special guest. What's your one final statement that wraps this all up and puts a bow on it?
Make sure you check your standard boxes. Do not violate your integrity because this person has a premium that you just love so much. Make sure your standard boxes are checked before the premium. Don't pick a premium over a standard. Don't. Then you're gonna come see me, and I'm gonna charge you. So.
That was a good answer. I love that. My final thought is this. First, my final thought is this. Cheating is a decision, as I said. You have to decide what you want to do. If you're with someone, if you're in a relationship, whether you're married or just dating, that's a decision. And when you make that decision, you have got to make the decision. Are you going to honor it or are you going to get out? Not honor it or not. Honor it or get out. Stop all this cheating. There's no reason to cheat ever. There's no justifiable reason to cheat on your spouse or significant other. I've maintained that. If I'm in a relationship with you and finally I get to the point where I'm starting to side eye this dude over here, this dude over there, I know it's time for me to go. There's no need for me to cheat. This is not working, evidently. So I'm going to have the hard conversation. And yeah, just
Right.
remember that.
Yeah.
Just remember that. And don't dish it if you can't take it. You wouldn't want somebody to cheat on you.
That's true.
Don't dish it if you can't take it. But this has been so fun. I always enjoy having you on the side, Jawn. And just remember, folks, we're here every Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern time. You can catch us here on Facebook and YouTube. And you can catch us on Twitch as well, under the Ignorant Thinkers podcast channel in Sam Sports Media Network, and the Chocolate Writer on Facebook, my page, and my Chocolate Writer page on YouTube as well. The Side Jawn Facebook group is on Facebook. It's a group. You can just join the group. That's where we put all kinds of content. Remember on the Side Jawn, we talk about everything. We talk about life, relationships, culture, sports, music, entrepreneurship, podcasting, venture capital. We talk about everything, and a little politics sometime every now and then, about once a quarter or so. So if you have any show ideas, please let us know. If you need any help, we do take letters to the side, Jawn. Just come to our Facebook page and hit the message button, send us a message, or you can go to my page, Sharon Mullen, Mullen, and message me a letter to the side, Jawn. We read the letters and we give our thoughts and opinions. And sometimes these tips are very profound because some of our tips come from this man right here, Dr. Lynn Sturdivant, because we listen to you, Lynn, and we refer to you on other shows. So you are impactful and we love and respect you. Dennis, enjoy yourself out there traveling. Have safe travels. If anybody needs a travel agent, travelbliss.com. Check her out. Shout out to you, Tanya. thank you, everybody in the comments. Thank you, all the viewers today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week here on The Side Jawn.